How to avoid ever being sick again. Hello and welcome to my page. My name is Gareth Fleck, and in this video I want to speak about how I personally have not been touched by illness or sickness within 2 years, and I'd like to share it with you. Before we get into this, I'd just like you to keep an open mind. You do not have to believe anything I say. You can take pieces from it if it resonates with you, but trust your heart, your gut, okay? So I'd like to read a wee meditation / wee scripture thing for us first before I get into this topic. Okay, so this is from Joel Goldsmith. I'd like you to just bear with me in my reading, okay? God is the only power, and I acknowledge no other power. Then I need not fear any power of disease. I need not fear any power of climate or weather. Oh yes, yes, I well know that in this human world, there are two powers, good and evil. And the world is suffering from that belief. I know that we will never go back to Eden, to harmony, until we obey their master and live by the First Commandment. Thou shalt not acknowledge no other power than God. Thou shalt acknowledge no other presence than God. Even to Pilate, I will say, thou could not have power over me unless it came from God. Even to death, I will say, thou has no power. Come on, young man, get up. Come forth, Lazarus. Death has no power, since God is infinite. God is the only power, and I acknowledge no other power. Okay? God is life. I'm convinced of that. And I'm convinced that the immortality of God means immortality of life. Well, then why should I fear disease? Would it have any power over God? If God is the only life there is, and that life is immortal, why? Then should I fear the power of disease? Well, certainly I know all the world's claim disease can kill you, but can it? If my life is God, or if God is my life, can it? No, of course not. The master said, you never will know immortal life unless you lose that personal sense of life. So that's powerful. So what we're saying here, your body is a temple of God. God is within you. What is God? God is spirit. Spirit cannot get sick. Spirit cannot get disease, can it? So we're following? The world is in a state of hypnosis, giving power to two sources. And as you believe, shall be done unto you. So if you believe you can get sick, if you believe you can have disease, what you believe shall be done unto you. So here's what I want to suggest. We eradicate that belief from our consciousness. And our consciousness is a built up collection of all our beliefs, concepts of self, and everything since we were born till now. So everything you've been taught, belief, you think, you feel to be true is your collective consciousness, your collective state of consciousness, which might have like disease and sickness, be scared, be fearful. You were not given the fear, okay? Don't fear anything. So what we want to do is eradicate these beliefs of sickness, disease, and illness from our consciousness. And as we do this, it will prune the dendrites and the neurons in our brain, snip them off, and we replace them with new beliefs. So when you see sickness, say powerless. This is what I personally do in my mind. Powerless, powerless. I and God, God and me, where I am, God is. I don't give power to it. It has no power. God is the only power, and God lives in me. I am the son of God. You are the son of God. You are the sister, the child of God, a sovereign being of God. So the state of hypnosis is beliefs in two powers, which I understand this information seems a bit when first hearing it. But for my personal self, I started doing that powerless. Like I'm healthy, health. God is health. my body. God is living my life. God is living my life. God is living through me. My life is God's. How can God's the only power? How can this sickness? I've been able to sit in a room full of people coughing, spluttering, dead to the bones, sick, and I just walk around. I'm fine. I don't believe it. Sure, I see it, but in my mind, I'm mentally eradicating it, and it'll get behind me. I take it away from my consciousness. I just repeat the words healthy. I see other people's health, and this takes a while to build up this consciousness, this level of thinking. You might think it's a bit weird, but I feel it's amazing. It's like purifying my mind from the illusion of two powers. If I was to give power to death, or to anything. And it comes back to that, as you believe shall be done unto you. That is so power. Do not underestimate those words. That is, I am learning myself more and more and more. The more, what am I entertaining in my beliefs? Am I, I always just go within God. God is. Where I am, God is. Where God is, I am. The ground I walk is holy ground. I and my Father are one. And these are the thought patterns that are constantly moving through my being now. And to start with, being in the face with illness and disease, you see it everywhere. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, okay? It's there, people have suffered from it. I myself have. But I'm just saying, if you can work to remove it from your mind, then it won't have a power over you or me. I hope that kind of makes sense. It's a bit of a in-depth topic, but I just felt like speaking about it. So I personally, you can do what you do. You have your beliefs in everything. I just open mind and just listen. If anything resonates, take it with you. If not, then that's fine. That's fine. That God is. So this is where I'm sitting with my thoughts and beliefs, and again, the beliefs, and as you believe shall be done unto you. So I don't give power to anything external. When someone is giving me things, I'm saying thank you to them, but I'm seeing through to God is working through that person to help me. So God, the only power, and that God is within you. You are the temple of God. Living God is within you. Okay. And how can God, who's omniscient, omnipresent, God is love, life itself. God is the one law. And when we acknowledge this and rest in the bosom of God, if our thoughts and our beliefs, then he lives through us. God live my life. God live my life. God live my life. God is living me. God is imagining he is Gareth Fleck type thing, like working through. And then the amount of beauty that comes into your life, and happiness and joy and God's peace running through my veins. Being made songs, to impress my unconscious mind, eradicate the thoughts of illness, sickness, and impress health, well-being, peace deep on your unconscious mind, and that will become your reality. You'll live in peace, love, joy. The state of hypnosis of the two powers is very strong. As soon as we're born, get given a name, an identity, a religion, where we're from, we give this false identity, be scared of this, be scared of that, be scared of all of this stuff, we're conditioned to believing it. So uprooting that conditioning and chopping it and throwing it away can take time, or it can be a pleasant, joyful experience. And I hope that helps. Even write down, I'll show you this real quickly. I did it. Even write down, I am so happy and grateful I have prime health. I am always healthy. Thinking thoughts of health, write them down, build it into your consciousness of health. For me, it's worked. Test it, try it. Don't just listen. Give it a go for yourself and see if it works. Just when you have thoughts of illness or sickness, powerless. Every winter, all the adverts can bombard you with sickness and everything, right? And it's just the belief that you entertain or we entertain. So I choose to entertain the belief that I am always healthy. I'm always happy, that God lives my life. God is living me. This is my personal choice to choose to think these thoughts, which are empowering and not disempowering. I love you. My name is Gareth Fleck. If you have any questions, leave some comments, likes, subscribe. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Yeah, you choose what you want to believe. I love you, and I will see you in the next one.